Hi, welcome to 3D Animation Exam. I am Autodesk Maya online teacher. Today we shall do cycle chain rigging and animation using lattice and motion path. In the next video, we'll use mesh tools for the chain animation. Now we will use lattice and motion path for cycle chain rigging. Okay, let's start. Go to create polygon primitives, rotate in X 90 degrees, caps 0, and sub D axis can be like 10, and keep it translation X minus 1.5, and duplicate it, place it 1.5. This is minus 1.5, this is plus 1.5. Now go to top view, scale it in the Y, scale it more, then bring it here after this line. Okay, now duplicate it and keep it to this side. Okay, done. Now polygon primitive cylinder, rotate 90 degree in X, sub D axis can be like 6, scale it in radius 0.2 or 0.3 is okay. Go to front view and place it right in the middle. That is, you can type here minus 1.5, same values for this two. Duplicate it, plus 1.5. Now go to top, you have to scale it to go beyond the plates. Now what we have to do is select this, select this, make it, combine it, go to face mode. Now select these faces to bridge them, edit mesh, bridge, right? This also you do the same, edit mesh, bridge, right? It's done. Now history delete. Okay, now duplicate this and move this here. That is, in the top view just align, and front view also you align, and go to top view, go to vertex mode and move them like this. Okay, fine. If you want, you can scale it. That is, make it thin a bit, right? Okay, it's done. Shade it and see. Go to shade mode and wireframe on shader. Okay, right? Select all of these things. Go to modeling module, mesh, combine, history delete, history delete. Now we have to make this cog teeth we have to make. So for that I am taking polygon primitives cube, bring it here, Okay, go to wireframe mode. This, scale it to in the x-axis to the middle of this. Okay, I feel it's okay. Now go to inputs and add some 2 points in the width, sub D. Now go to vertex mode and bring this down. Go to top view, face mode, select the middle face and edit mesh, extrude, make it extrude and scale it down, and this side too. Okay, fine. So one teeth is made based on the dimensions of this this chain, right? Let's rename this as chain 1 and this one as cog teeth 1. Now we can do the history deletion, edit, delete by type history. Right now we have to create a cylinder for the sprocket. So go to polygon primitive, cylinder, rotate in x 90 degrees, sub D cap 0, radius like okay, this is okay, I feel. Fine, 17, 18 is okay, right? Go to top and check the depth. We can change it if it needs. Okay, now you can name this as cog big. Okay, right. Now let's duplicate this and keep here the cog, small cog. So let's rename this as small. Okay, fine. It can be even more smaller. Okay, go to top and just check the depth. Okay, fine. Right. We may have to change the size in the future. For now, let's keep it like this. Now we have to keep this in the up so that I can duplicate around this cog teeth, around this cog wheel. Okay, so let's keep it here and you can switch off the grid so that visibility will be clear in the viewport. Now press D, there is go to pivot mode and we can bring it here in the middle, but it won't be correct. For that, what I will do is I select this one, this is a master and this is slave. Go to rigging module, constraint, point constraint. You see what happening? So that it will find its center, that is this cog teeth's pivot will find its center. Now we can just move the geometry by selecting its vertices. So you can just place the geometry here. So the benefit of that is when I duplicate this, it will place itself around the cog wheel by itself. I don't have to place manually everything. If I keep the pivot of this teeth in the center of the wheel, we don't have to manually place it. By itself it will be placed. So now go to edit, duplicate special, and in that you are seeing translation, rotation, scaling values. Make it edit reset settings, that is default. And now switch on this new group, and we have to type the value here, that is in the z-axis. We have to see what value we should type. So for that I will just duplicate and see the value. Okay, so minus 9.755, this is a value. I will copy this and paste it here and delete this. Now I am going to select the original one and make duplications. For now I will put some 30 as duplicates, copies. I will apply. You can see it is duplicating itself. So the space we gave, that is the with the rotation minus 9.7550, so it is placing itself every copy with the same distance from the original, that is the previous one. So this is the advantage of duplicate special option. Now we want more actually, so 30 is not enough. Like this only we have to, on trial basis we have to try it and again undo it and just type 35 and again see it. Okay, this also Control Z, undo. 37 we will try. Okay, I feel this is okay. Right, now hide the original one. This constraint node you can delete and hide it. Now you just check how many you have, whether any extra duplication is being made or not. So for that we have to, this you can close, we have to move and see. Okay, it's not there, there is no extra. Sometimes there will be extra on that itself, so that we may have to remove, but it's not there in this case, so it's okay. Now let's duplicate, that is let's select all these duplicates and go to modeling module, mesh, combine. Now go to edit, delete by type, history. Now we can delete these groups. Okay, so this we can name as cog big teeth. Right, later this also we are going to combine with the wheel. Okay, now this what we did for this cog teeth duplication around the wheel, same we have to do for the cog small wheel. Okay, let's take duplicate the teeth and unhide it, shift H. Now I'm going to do the same thing, that is I want this teeth pivot to be at the center of this wheel. So what I will do, I will use constraint for that. So select this one and control select this teeth also, new teeth, duplicated one. Go to rigging module, constraint, point constraint. Right, now we can delete the constraint node. Then in the front view, go to vertex mode and bring it down. right? Now what we have to do is we have to duplicate, use the duplicate special tool, go to its settings, and this same value, this same distance won't work here. I just show you by trying it. This much copy we don't need. See, you can see the distance, this minus 9.757550 won't work here. It needs more values. So for that, again undo. We have to duplicate this and rotate and see how much value it needs. It needs minus 18.598. So let's copy this value, delete this one, select this one and type the value. Now you just number of copies, let it be 5 for now. Just apply and see. See, you can see it's how it's with correct precise distance it is duplicating. So this is the value for this. Now I have undone it and increase the number of copies. There it is 37 for the big cog wheel. Here it should be like 15 or something, I'm guessing. Let's apply and see. Okay, it's more than 15. Let's put 19 and see. Let's always be less. Okay, then by step you increase the number of copies and see if it's not right, again undo it, again put the value, increase or decrease, again see. So like that you keep the dialog box, duplicate special dialog box here. So keep undoing and applying. Like that you have to arrive at the correct numbers. So now I will again increase to 20. I think this is not okay. So what I am going to do is I am going to increase the distance a bit more so that it will accommodate itself correctly, even more precisely. So now it is minus 18.5980. So I will say it is 61 minus 18 point more than 5980. That is 61. Let's see. Okay, decrease it and then see. Okay, 19. Okay, increase a little more. 8 minus 18.8. Yeah, you can see it is fitting slowly, but even more it's needed. Like put minus not 18 but 19, minus 19 you put and see. Right, this is correct. So we have done it. Now close the duplicate special tools and this hide the cog teeth 2 also. Select this group and go to modeling module, mesh, combine, and edit, delete by type history. Now rename this as cog small teeth, right? Okay, so now we have the same size of teeth for these both the wheels, but the size of the wheel is small, the dial is small. So some people do it like the entire wheel they duplicate along with the teeth, they duplicate and move it and make it small, but it should not be the case. The teeth size should be same in the big cog as well as in the cog, small wheel, so that you make sure that you are doing this way. So okay, this is done, this is also done. You can hide this. uh, for now. Now what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to create a curve, NURBS primitives, circle, rotate it in 90 degrees in X, and increase the radius to 20 or something. Scale it down a bit. Okay, here this radius won't go beyond the 10, so let's use the scale, uniform scale. I'm scaling and keeping it here like this. So now let's name this as chain curve rotate Z. Okay, right. Now display CV should be on, right? Let's keep this chain here. Okay, so this chain is going to be animated on this curve. For what? For what is to duplicate many chains, and those chains will be like traveling on the curve, on the geometry of the curve. For that, first we are going to animate this and use the animated snapshot for duplication on the same path. Okay, now we have to place them correctly. So okay, fine. Now let's show the big teeth, cog big teeth, right? Let's check with that. Go to shade mode and check. Is it okay? I feel this is okay. Right. I think it can be smaller, a bit smaller, like 0.8 or 0.83. Okay, 0.82. Okay, this I feel is okay. Now again check whether it is along the curve or not. As much as possible, you just place it in the right place, that is where the curve is located, geometry of the curve, right? Now unhide the small tooth, shift H, right? You can actually hide the wheels. Select the cog big, cog small, Control H, hide it, and we can switch off the grid. Right, now select the chain curve, and we have to increase the sections under the inputs for the curve to 500. Can be more also, but this 500 is okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create lattice for rotation. That is, now if I rotate, see what is happening. It will rotate like this. Okay, this is objects transform. So the geometry is not actually rotating. Suppose if I scale it like this, the pivot is rotating. That is the transform, it's rotating, not the geometry. But we have to make the geometry, curves geometry should rotate in itself. So for that I am taking the help of lattice. So Now I have put 500 in the sections for the nerve circle, and I am going to deform lattice. You can see it's empty. Now I am going to increase the S division and U division, right, like this. So it is 5 to 5. You have to remember this. Now go right click on the lattice, go to lattice point and select this part and move it here. Okay, now you have to scale it in the height like this, and you may have to adjust a little, but you should be very careful that the geometry of the curve should not have the zigzag lines. So don't go too much beyond the limit. So when you are scaling it, very carefully do it. When I am moving it, it should not come like this. It should be circular. It should maintain the circular. We can use this in the lattice. We have these options. We can use these things. Now I have put this FFD node is there in the outputs. In that I have put ST4 is equal to 4. STU is equal to 4 I have put. So now it has become rounded. Even though if I move it like this, the roundness will be maintained. So for that sake I have given these values in the FFD node. So now let's scale it like this. Still there is a bend like this, so careful. Even though we have given the roundedness, but still the circular shape is not able to maintain, because we need to adjust it. So we are trying our best to avoid the destruction of circular shape. Okay, right. Okay, fine. So just make it the roundedness to 2. See how it is. So you should be careful in doing this. Okay, fine. Now let's rotate the curve and see how it is behaving. See, the curve is rotating within the limit of the geometry line. This effect we want. So for that only we created lattice. Okay, fine. Now let's again rotate this and see. You can see the rotation. That is why I have switched on the display CV and go to perspective and see clearly and rotate it like this. Let's see where it is. It should not happen. Here also it is. So we should be careful enough while adjusting it in order to achieve the roundedness. It may happen like this as a result. So let's again adjust the lattice. If you are not satisfied with the lattice and if you want to do the lattice again from the starting, you can just delete the lattice and do it again. See, I'm selecting the lattice and deleting it. It goes back to the same shape. You can put here 0 in the rotation Z. Now again let's put the lattice, go to deform lattice and increase S and U divisions to 5. Right, now select the same points and like this and scale it down in the height. Go to zoom it and see it. Just do this, that should be enough, I think. Right, okay, don't be too ambitious, so that by being ambitious we may not spoil it further. So this is a limit. It can maintain its circular shape. Beyond this, if we tweak it, it won't. In some other regions in the curve, it may get intersections. So let's stop with this, and now again I will just select the curve and rotate and show you. Okay, it's fine. Now what I'm going to do is let's animate this chain on this curve. Okay, now select the chain and select the curve, go to rigging, constraint, motion paths, attach to motion path, follow is on. Time slider we have to switch on because we are entering animation. So go to settings, preferences, user interface elements, UI elements, time slider, range slider, switch on, save. Now you are seeing it's by default it is 120 to 200. Now we have to change it to 50. Here also change it to 50. That's all we need. So the time slider is selected in the motion path options. Follow should be on. Rest all be default. Now say apply and see. Okay, fine. It's following, that is it's orienting along the curve. You can see that it's orienting along the curve. When the curve goes like this, the chain also rotating itself along the curve. So that is what we want. Now we are going to use this animation motion path to duplicate the chains on this along this curve. So how to do it? Go to the rigging module, go to animation module, visualize, and go to create animation snapshot settings. Now keep this here. We will have to do trials, so keep this here and bring the graph editor in the right side, make it little small, the window, and this one is also small. It will zoom out it and keep it, and select this and make it linear. Now this start end on in the animation snapshot options, 1 to 50. We have here it is 1 to 50, right? So let's keep 1 to 50, but it's always better to start from lower numbers, that is less number of duplicates to more number of duplicates. So in that case I am going to change the animation sequence, that is frame length, to 1 to 30. Now it is 1 to 50, right? So I'll change it to 1 to 30. Here also it should be 1 to 30. Whatever is here if it is 1 to 50, it should be here 1 to 50. Here if it is 1 to 30, it should same number should be here. So two things I have kept side by side. One is graph editor here, and the animated snapshot in the left side. Okay, here I am typing the same value. Start time and end time should be the same value as the keyframe value of the chain. Now this fast update should be on. Now you say apply and see what is happening. Okay, now you are seeing it got duplicated, but the gaps are there. So what I am going to do is, it means what, 30 numbers of chains are not enough, we need more. So for that, what we will do, undo. Okay, and one more thing we can do, we can even scale down the size. I feel it's bit big, it's looking big, so let's scale down the chain to 0.75. Yeah, 0.75. Okay, now let's duplicate. Again the gap has to be decreased between the chains. For that, what I will do, I will increase the number of duplicates. So to increase the number of duplicates, you have to increase the number of frames it is getting animated. So 1 to 30 as per now. That is why it is duplicating 30 number of chains. Now I will duplicate and change the 30 to 40. Now here I'll put 40. Apply. Now still that alignment is not there. You can see that it's not aligned. This disk and this disk should get aligned. Till that you have to keep increasing. That is why we are starting from the lower numbers to higher numbers. First, previously we were duplicating it to 30, 1 to 30. Now we have done 40, and 40 is also not enough, so undo it. Again do the change in the graph editor, that is 1 to 42, 1 to 45 you do, and see, or 1 to 47. Now here same numbers you apply, 47, and see how it is. Yeah, it's perfect. You can see that this disk and this disk is same. Okay, right. Okay, now the work is done, so we can close the graph editor and snapshot. only thing we have to check whether there is any excessive duplicates. So go to the duplication group and select the last one and just move it in the Z and see, yeah, it is there. So delete that one. This one is there. There is no duplicate here. And see the first one, check the first one. Yeah, it's not there. Okay, so only one was extra that we have deleted. Now any other issue we have to check up, that is this thing is there, so let's adjust it. While adjusting it, you should be very careful. The curve should not, cannot go too much beyond our limit, so we can just to the maximum we can try our best and reduce these gaps in some regions. We cannot entirely eradicate these gaps, but at least we can reduce it. So I think we are successful in reducing it, right? And right here it's okay. See, if I try to adjust here it is showing up, so we should be careful not adjust too much, right? Okay, fine. Now let's the duplication is done. We can hide the original cog teeth. Find it where it is. Yeah, this. This is the one, so that you can hide it. Control H. Okay, fine. It's also just try it, but if it's not working, leave it. Don't force on it. It has its own limit. We have to work within the limits of the lattice, right? Now just rotate this curve and see the chain is also rotating, but this is not the way we are going to animate it. So for that we are going to delete the history of this animated snapshot duplicates. Select this group and go to edit, delete by type, history, and select the subordinates in the group. Go to, this is rename space, rename this as bead. Okay, it will rename itself along with the numbers. See how many it is. It's 46. So now take them out of the group and form a new group. And now we are going to combine this. Let's check before combining. Let's check it whether it's okay or not. Okay, I feel okay. Now combine these beads. You have to combine to make it as a single mesh. Go to modeling module, mesh, combine. Now it has become a single mesh. Rename this as chain. Can delete the groups, and the Lambert is we have to assign it again. Go to shape, rendering editors, hyper shade. Just for now, apply the Lambert. Okay, right. So now chain is done. Uh, Now we have to create bones for it, and those bones will be animated along the curve uh, by IK spline. So we are going to apply IK spline. For that we have to create the bones. So let's hide this one, this chain, and unnecessary things you can delete it. Never delete this lattice. We will be using this. Unless there is lattice, you cannot get this effect of rotation, that is geometrical rotation. You won't get it. Rotates within the limit of the geometry. That effect you won't get. It is because of lattice. It is in that status. So you should never delete the lattice. It is part of the rigging. Now let's hide these teeth, cog teeth. Now I'm going to duplicate this for temporary purpose. I will rename this as skeleton curve. After creating the skeleton on this, we will delete this skeleton curve, and now I have duplicated that curve, so you can hide it. That is also hide, and this one is skeleton curve. Go to curves, rebuild settings. I want to reduce the number of points here so that I can snap creating joints on the curve points. So I'm going to reduce it to like 40, 50, and put 50, or you can put more actually for nice effect. The more vertices you put, the more the more bend you will get in the chain. So I have put 80. Is okay, I feel. Okay. Now go to first front view, and let's adjust these things. Let's make it straight. Okay. Now go to rigging module, skeleton, create joints. From here I will create. Press V in the keyboard, that is use point snap, vertex snap. So press V so that it snaps there right on the point. See, you can see it snapped right on the point. Now we can increase the size of the joint while creating itself. So go to display, animation, joint size, increase the joint size like this, so that it will be visible when you are creating, right? And maximize the view and do it. It's a bit lengthy job because we have created more points. While rebuilding it, we if we had put some 50 or 47 numbers, which is equal to the number of chains, it would have been easy. But thing is, we want a little more quality, so that is the chain should not like pop up uh, from the curve while rotating on the curve. So for that purpose we are adding more points and more chains. So now it's done. Press enter once you have done, and in the final what you have to do is this last bone we have to snap it on the curve snap. There is something called curve snap here. You can see that curve snap here, this one. So using that we can snap it on the curve. Press C in the keyboard and you can, and middle click mouse button, you can snap it. You can just drag it on the curve only. Okay, don't keep it on the starting of the bone, little off you keep. Okay, right. Now we have to create the IK handle for this, and this IK handle is different from the normal IK handle. I'll show you. Go to skeleton, you are seeing create IK handle, and generally we use that, but for this we are going to use IK spline handle. You will see what it's going to do. I am clicking on it, and yeah, before that we have to go to its settings and see that only root on curve is switched on. Generally if you see reset, by default auto parent curve, auto create curve, auto simplify curve will all be on, so we should not use that. For this one what we are doing, only root on curve should be on. Now you go there. Now it is asking you to select the, you can see here in the helpline, you can see select the start point for the handle. See, with the left mouse button I am clicking the starting joint, right. Then I am going to click the end effector, that is end ball, like it is there, no, that one. That is why I made a small difference by moving it little off from the starting ball, this one, this joint, so that we can pick the end effector. So I am picking it. Yes, done. Now we have to select the curve on which it is going to be it's going to travel. These bones are going to travel on the curve, but I apologize, I have to do it again, I think, because it's hidden. So we have to delete the skeletal curve which we created just to create the bones. Now the job is done, so we can delete it. We have to use the chain curve which we have created lattice. That is the one we have to use for IK spline handle. So display, so show selection. Now it's visible. Okay, now do the same thing. Now go to deselect and go to create IK spline handle, start joint, end joint, and curve. You can see it is changing, the color has changed. I just select the, you can see the joints are on the curve. Now if I select the IK handle, you are seeing here this IK is, this IK spline handle, I am selecting it and going to offset and just dragging the middle mouse button. See what is happening. It is the bones are traveling on the curve. So this is the effect we want. You can see that. See, bones are traveling on the curve. This is the effect we want. Now let's put offset back to 0. Now we are going to skin these joints and the chain. I'll show you that. Everything we will unhide it so that we can see that. Yeah, this is the one. So select this one, this chain, and the joints. Go to skin, bind the skin, joint hierarchy. It's a default settings, edit reset settings, apply. Now you just select this curve, which I have named it as rotate in Z. That you have to rotate in Z. For that only I have named it like that. So just rotate it and see it. See, we can see it is rotating. Okay. So the chain is done. Now we have to finish the modeling of these wheels, these cog wheels. So let's do that. Select this one, select the faces, go to modeling, edit mesh, extrude, scale it like this. This scale icon, scale it little, and delete them, delete the faces. Go to edge mode, select both the edges. You can see that I have selected both the edges. Now go to edit mesh, bridge. Okay, it's done. Now we have to create the center frame. So for that I am selecting these faces and straight opposite bottom faces also. You can just maximize the window. Now after selecting those faces, you can check it in wireframe. Now edit mesh, bridge again. It's showing the twisting. We can try these options here. Yeah, it's done. So its value is -100. Only in the 100 it is right. So here also we should do the same thing, but before that we have to create the subdivisions here. Go to mesh tools, multi-cut tool. For this one subdivision, for this one subdivision here, for this one subdivision here. Okay, now go to face mode, again bridge, edit mesh, bridge, right. Now select this side and do the same thing, bridge. Now let's select these four faces using the tab in the keyboard. Now hold shift and right click on it. You'll see circularize components, apply it. Now do the same thing here also. Hold shift and right click, circularize components. Okay, done. Now we can delete this circle. And okay, before deleting them we have to actually duplicate it, that is extrude it. So let's do that. Go to edit mesh, only this side I have selected, and extrude, that is scale it like this. This also you select and extrude. Okay, right. Now you can delete them. Save this one and this one, this one, delete. Now let's try linking them, that is bridging them. Edit mesh, bridge. Yeah, it's working. Now we will have to, if you want you can do the smoothing, or only if you feel like only chain animation is important, you need not do the smoothing. We'll just try smoothing it, because this is just a simple cogwheel. If you want to make a perfect cogwheel, we have to work on that, it takes time. So I'm just making the basic wheel, basic cogwheel. So for the sake of smoothing it, we can just try it. Okay, right, you can scale it a bit. Okay, fine. Now let's work on this thing. Do the same thing here. Edit mesh, extrude, like this, like this. Okay, fine. Again extrude. Little dip inside, and again extrude, scale it down, and again extrude and scale it inside. Okay, now do the extrusion again. Okay, now you can delete it. Select the edges and bridge, right? And this also, if you want, you can smooth it, or you can apply bevel. Actually we can try that, because for this model we can do bevel, it works. Do bevel. Okay, fine, but we can apply only for these edges, not these edges. So let's select them and apply it. Right, go to edit mesh, bevel, right, wireframe on shaded off. So now it's ready, and let's rotate it. So this is what is animation we are going to do. So I'm going to use expression editor for animation rather than using save key, rather than using keyframing. I'm going to use the expression editor. So let's go to Windows, Animation Editors, Expression Editor. Okay, let's keep it like this, and here you are seeing the values. That is, it's in rotation in Z. Okay, rotation Z in minus. So here it is there, copy it, paste it here. Now is equal to time, this is the syntax, okay, what I'm typing, is equal to time, and into, not into, no, for now I will say apostrophe comma semicolon. Now let's say create. Okay, we didn't select the attribute, sorry. So let's select the attribute, copy it, paste it, same thing, same syntax you are using, semicolon, create. See, expression is being created. Now I didn't do any keyframing. You can see it has become some indigo color. Now if I just slide in the time slider, see, it moves, it is moving, you can see it from 1 to 50. It is, I'm sliding in the time slider, and chain is rotating along the curve, but it is rotating backwards. So for that, to rotate forward, we have to use minus here, into, it should also fasten, so I will use -3 and say edit, so that it gets updated. Now you see, even more faster it can be. Now because I have put minus, it is from 1 to 50 I am sliding. You can see the chain is moving forward. So I will, only thing we have to increase its quantity of motion. So I'm increasing it to 10. Time into -10. Edit. Now let's review and see. Okay. You can increase even more, I think 25. Edit. Yeah, this is okay, feel. So this is the equation. Okay. So this is the syntax I have used. You can see this. Okay, now close the expression editor. So what else is remaining is these wheels. These cog wheels has to rotate when this chain is rotating. So for that, what we are going to do is we have to use connection editor, and nodes we are going to use. Okay, let's select this one. Before that, we have to merge this, that is combine these meshes, so that it will become easy for us to animate. So select this one and this one, go to mesh, combine. It has become a one single mesh now. This one and this one, same thing here also, mesh, combine. Now select both of them and edit delete by type history. It's clean now, there is no history. Now you can see when I'm rotating entire, this teeth also rotating. So this is how I want, that is why I combined it. Now when the chain is rotating, automatically this cog, big cog and small cog also should rotate. So how to do that? We are going to do that using the connection editor and nodes. Right. Let's select this. Go to Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. This is where this needs input, right? This is the giver of output. So I will load the input here. Okay, inputs here, right? This wheel should be here, and select this one. This the curve, which is the rotator, which is what is rotating. So select the curve and bring it in the outputs. In other words of outputs and inputs, you can say driver and driven. This is driver and this is driven. Okay, so this curve is driver, so it is here in the outputs. This cog wheel is driven by the driver, so that is why the driven is in inputs, that is this cog wheel is in inputs. Now I am going to connect the rotation Z of the driver to the rotation Z of driven. Right, it's connected. Now let's rotate and see the curve. This we can do it here. Yeah, it's nice. Fine. So let's do the same for here also. Select this one. This is driven and this again is the driver. So put the driven here. Yes. And driver is already the same. So let's open the rotation and connect it. Now let's do this and see. Yeah, this is bit slow. This wheel is slowly rotating, so it should match the rotation of the chain. For that, what we will do, let's close this connection editor and go to Windows, Node Editor, bring it here, and this curve also bring. In the Node Editor we have to select this middle icon. We have brought it here. You have to find this. This is little bit difficult to observe and understand. When you are doing it, you will get it. So that is why I am recording this as a video, so that whenever you want, you can watch it and do it. Playback, rewind, that way you can do it. So let's locate this one. We need transform of this one. This one is here. So we can see the transform is connected. The small wheels transform. You can just double click and see it is showing the transform node here in the attribute. So I am selecting the transform node here, and I am selecting the transform node of chain here. You can see this is also a transform node. Chain I have selected, transform node. So both are here. Now what I am going to do is, if I drag this, the time slide, if I run this time slider, the small cog is slow and the chain is faster. So small cog should match the rotation speed of the chain. So for that, what I will do is I will create one node called multiply divide. Just if I type multi in the node editor, it will show up all the nodes which are starting with multiply divide and multi stir light and all. What we are going to use is multiply divide. Let's choose this. Now the node is created. Now what I am going to do is I am going to open this. Let's maximize this so that you can see it clearly. Open the output, input, right? Now this also, okay. So this thing between the transform of driver, which is chain, and driven, transform of driven, I am going to bring an agent called multiply divide node. So through him they are going to get connected. So I am first disconnecting it and introducing the multiply divide agent to the chain first. So first he is giving inputs. That is driver is giving inputs here and telling him this is the thing. Yeah, it's done. So now you can see that it's connected. The rotation Z of chain is connected to the input input Z. Now this guy will give output, that is he will now, being an agent, give instruction to the cog, that is the cog wheel, small cog wheel. So here you open the same rotation Z and give the output here. Right, it's done. Now just minimize it and see. It is the same thing. Only advantage what you have after creating the node is you can increase the quantity of motion, that is you can increase the number of rotation for the cog wheel. So select that multiply divide here and go to the attribute, and here you type, that is in the input 2 you type more values. Now by default it is 1, you type 5 and see it is rotating faster. If you put 10, it rotates even more faster, see, but that is not needed for us. Even 5 is not needed for us. By default it is 1, so let's increase it to 2 and see. Yeah, this is okay, this is okay. Maybe 2.1 or 2.2. This is okay. 2 is okay, I feel. Yeah. So using the node editor we have done it. For chain rotation we used expression editor. We used expression editor. For the cog wheels we have used node editor, so that we are trying our maximum best to cover more tools in one exercise. So now just slide in the time slider and see and enjoy the rotation we have made. We have done the rig. Many more adjustments we can do, some tweaking we can do for the model as well as the rig also, but in this time we have done our best. This is the basic rig. Upon this you may be able to do automation, more automation using expression editors, Python scripts and all, so you can do that. This is a basic rig we have done. Okay, so okay, let's shade this and render it and see. Go to Windows, Hyper Shader. We need two shaders. For these wheels we are going to create steel shader, and for this one some rusted kind of color shader. So we won't be applying texturing, only shaders we are going to apply. Create standard surface. Okay, now select the chain, here and assign material to selection. Now go to attribute, change it to chain shader and make it dark. Okay, fine. Little roughness you can increase, that is enough. Now create one more shader, standard surface, and select the cog wheels, both the cog wheels, and again assign material to selection. This the shader, it's gone inside. Okay, so let's rename it as steel shader. Now increase the metalness for the steel shader, that is enough, and reduce little roughness, that's enough. Okay, fine. Now create Arnold light, sky dome, go to light attributes, normalize switch off. In the color channel give some environment texture, environment image name is, I have a scenery that I am going to apply. This is the one. Okay, but this, I don't want this to be displayed in the render, this background image. So what I will do is I'll go to the light attributes and make the camera to 0, so that only the objects we have created will be visible. Okay, let's go to Arnold render and see. Yeah, it's done. You can zoom it if you want. So render process is going on. You can see it is 26%, 30%, it is progressing. Here pixels are getting duplicated, you can see that. You can just do the time sliding and you can see it's moving. Let it render one frame at least. Yeah, it's done. So it is taking 13 seconds. Stop it. Now keep it here. Let's play blast and see. Before that, let's hide it. Okay. Switch on the wireframe and play blast it so that we can see the animation for that purpose. And we can increase the frame range to 150 and rename this as chain animation. Now play blast. You can see that. Okay, this thing is it should be hidden. Okay, let's hide it. It's not part of the rig. They can be deleted actually. Only what is needed should be in the scene. Even this curve we can hide it, not delete it. Okay, now again do the play blast. Okay, this is what we wanted to achieve and we have got it. So in the next video we shall see how to do the same thing using mesh tools, which is very easy. So okay, that's it for today. You can visit my website 3danimationegnia.com to know about my online classes and videos. Please subscribe my channel to see more videos on Maya software. Thanks for being with me. Cheers.